Good day everyone, I am Mikylla V. Buscato and today we will be talking about the invertebrates. Invertebrates are a huge group of animals that don't have a backbone or a spinal column. They're actually the largest group of animals in the earth. It's kind of amazing to think about how many different types of invertebrates there are and how important they are to the planet. No backbone. This is the main thing that makes them different from vertebrates. Like humans, dogs, and birds, invertebrates come in all shapes and sizes, from tiny little insects to enormous giant squid. They're super diverse. You can find invertebrates in all sorts of places, from the ocean to the forest, even in your own backyard. Invertebrates play a big role in keeping ecosystem healthy. They pollinate flowers, break down dead things, and are food for other animals. Invertebrates are more than just bags. You might think of invertebrates just as bags, but they're way more important than you think. They like the unsung heroes of the planet, doing tons of stuff to keep things running smoothly, like food chain superstars, pollination powerhouse, cleanup crew, and biodiversity boosters. Here's why invertebrates are essentials. Food chain superstars. Invertebrates are like the base of the food chain. Lots of animals eat them, from birds to fish to even bigger invertebrates. Without them, many other animals would have anything to eat. Pollination powerhouse. Insects like bees, butterflies, and moths are super important for pollinating plants. They help move pollen from one flower to another, which is how plants make seeds and fruits. Without pollination, we wouldn't have lots of foods we love, like apples, oranges, and berries. Clean-up crew. Invertebrates like earthworms and beetles are nature's cleanup crew. They break down dead plants and animals, returning nutrients to the soil so new plants can grow. Think of them as nature's recyclers. Biodiversity boosters. Invertebrates make up a huge part of Earth's biodiversity, meaning they help make the planet a super interesting and varied place. They have all sorts of cool adaptations and ways of living, which is super fascinating. Imagine if there were no bees to pollinate flowers, no more earthworms to break down dead leaves, and no insects to feed birds. The world would be a very different and probably a lot less healthy place. So, invertebrates are a big impact to the world. They has great impact and they help us survive. And that's all. Thank you.
Good day everyone, I am Al-Faidah Singh and I will be discussing the classification of invertebrates by phylum, exploring the diversity of life forms. So by the end of this discussion, we will be able to understand the concept of phyla in biological classification, identify the key characteristic and examples of organism in each, recognize the ecological importance of those phyla in marine and freshwater ecosystem, and lastly, hopefully after this discussion, we will be able to understand the role of phyla in understanding evolutionary biology. So let's start our discussion with the introduction to phyla. So in biological classification, the term phylum or phyla refers to a high-level groupings of organisms that share structural and evolutionary characteristics. Phyla help organize the immense diversity of life into more manageable and understandable categories, and these groupings are based on similarities in body structure, embryonic development, and genetic traits, reflecting both the evolution and shared ancestry of the organism within each phylum. So the concept of phyla is very important, especially for scientists, as it helps them analyze biodiversity, study evolutionary relationship, and trace common ancestry across the tree of life. And to further understand phyla, we must also learn about the taxonomic hierarchy. The taxonomic hierarchy was developed by Carl Linnaeus and is constantly being refined by the present scientists. So this hierarchy begins with the broadest category, starting from the domain level, then moving to the kingdom, then the phylum, to the class, order, family, genus, and finally species. And like what I've said, phyla are a key classification used to organize the vast variety of species into groups that share specific characteristics. So phyla are very essential for understanding the complexities of life on Earth. Now let us proceed to the first classification, which is the phylum Invertebrata. If you have watched SpongeBob SquarePants before, SpongeBob is actually part of this phylum. This phylum is one of the most primitive and simplest of the animal phyla, which includes organisms commonly known as sponges. These creatures are notable for their furrous body structure, which is key to their method of feeding. So yung furrous body nila allows water to flow through, and may specialized cells sila called choanocytes that filter out food particles such as plankton and bacteria, and yung filtration process na yun is a crucial ecological service, helping maintain water quality in marine environment. Sponges are unique in that they do not have true tissues like most other animals. Instead, their bodies are composed of specialized cells like amoebocytes, which aid in digestion and transport nutrients, and choanocytes, which are responsible for filtering water. They also lack organs and organ systems, making them simple organisms. Their skeleton, which provides structure and support, is made up of materials such as spongin, a fibrous protein, and spicules, a siliceous or calcareous structure. These materials vary depending on the species and contribute to the sponge overall form and function. Sponges primarily inhabit marine environments where they attach to rocks or coral reefs, filtering water for nutrients. Some freshwater species exist pero majority talaga are marine. They play a crucial ecological role by providing habitats for small marine life such as crustaceans, and they contribute to the overall health of coral reef ecosystem through their filtration capabilities. Examples of sponges include Euspongia officinalis, commonly known as the botch sponge. It is a marine species of sponge found in the Mediterranean Sea and parts of the Caribbean. It belongs to the class Demospongia or Demospongi and is characterized by a soft, porous structure that is ideal for use in bathing. The bath sponge is harvested for its natural absorbent qualities, which make it perfect for cleaning and exfoliation. It has a skeleton composed of spongin fibers, a type of collagen protein, which gives it its flexibility and softness. Bath sponge typically grows in shallow, rocky environments and can reach sizes of up to 50 cm in diameter. This sponge is highly valued for its sustainability as it is biodegradable and durable. Historically, it has been used not only for personal hygiene but also in various medical applications. Today, it remains a popular eco-friendly alternative to synthetic sponges. We also have the Cliona celata, commonly known as the yellow boring sponge. It is a species of marine sponge that is notorious for its ability to bore into and erode rocks, coral, and other hard substrates. So this species is found in coastal waters, particularly in the Atlantic Ocean and the Mediterranean Sea, at depths ranging from shallow areas to deeper parts of the ocean. This sponge's unique behavior is due to its ability to secrete enzyme that dissolves the calcium carbonate in coral and limestone, creating holes and cavities in the material. So these holes, while providing shelter for the sponge, can also damage coral reefs and other marine habitats, contributing to the degradation of these ecosystems. Cliona celata typically appears as a yellow or orange-colored sponge with a soft, porous texture. It can grow in various shapes, often forming encrusting colonies or irregular lobes. Although it plays a role in the ecosystem by recycling calcium carbonate and providing habitat for other organisms, its destructive impact on coral reefs has raised concerns, especially in areas already stressed by human activity and climate change. Another example is the Spongilla lacustris. It is a species of freshwater sponge commonly found in clean, shallow, and slow-moving waters such as lakes, ponds, and streams. It belongs to the family Spongilidae and is known for its unique ability to thrive in freshwater environments, unlike most sponges which are marine. This species has a characteristic green or brownish color due to the symbiotic algae that live within its tissue, helping the sponge with the photosynthesis. Freshwater sponge forms branching bushy colonies that are often attached to submerged rocks, aquatic plants, and other substrates. The sponge has a soft, gelatinous texture and is usually found at the depth where sunlight can still penetrate, as it relies on both filter feeding and photosynthesis. It feeds by filtering small particles such as bacteria and plankton from the water through its porous body. Spongilla lacustris is notable for its ability to survive harsh winter conditions by producing resting spores that can endure freezing temperatures and resume growth when the conditions improve. This freshwater sponge plays a role in the aquatic ecosystem by helping filter and purify water. Now, moving to phylum Cnidaria, this involves a diverse group of animals that includes jellyfish, corals, and sea anemones. These animals are known for their radial symmetry, meaning their body parts are arranged around a central axis which allows them to interact with their environment from all directions. A defining feature of cnidarians is their specialized cells called cnidocytes, which contain nematocysts, stinging structure used for both defense and capturing prey. These stinging cells are crucial for survival in their often competitive marine environments. The venomous nematocysts are released when the cnidocyte is triggered, allowing the cnidarian to immobilize or kill prey. Cnidarians also exhibit two main body forms: the polyp, which is sessile or attached to surfaces and typically found in corals and sea anemones, and the medusa, which is free-swimming and a characteristic of a jellyfish. Both body forms are adapted to different ecological niches and lifestyles. Additionally, cnidarians possess a gastrovascular cavity, a single opening that functions as both a mouth and an anus, where digestion and nutrient absorption take place. This simple digestive system is sufficient for their relatively basic nutritional need. Cnidarians are mostly marine, though a few species such as hydra can be found in freshwater. They are vital in the formation of coral reefs, which support a rich diversity of marine life and contribute significantly to marine ecosystem. Examples of cnidarians includes Aurelia aurita, commonly known as the moon jellyfish. It is a widely distributed species of jellyfish found in coastal waters around the world. It is known for its translucent, bell-shaped body, which typically has a characteristic moon or horseshoe-shaped pattern, giving its name. The bell can reach up to 40 to 50 cm in diameter, although many of them are smaller. Moon jellyfish have a soft gelatinous structure and consist mainly of water. The water structure of moon jellyfish is about 95%, if I am not mistaken. They are part of the class Scyphozoa, which includes most true jellyfish. Although they have venomous stinging cells, as we know, their sting is usually mild and not harmful to humans. Aurelia aurita can form large blooms, especially in areas with nutrient-rich water, and is often used as an indicator species for marine ecosystem health. They feed through a combination of filtering plankton and capturing smaller organisms with their tentacles. Moon jellyfish play a role in marine food webs as both predators and prey, supporting a variety of other marine animals. Another example is the Physalia physalis, commonly known as the Portuguese manowar. It is a striking colonial organism found in warm oceanic waters, particularly in the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. Despite its jellyfish-like appearance, it is not a true jellyfish but a colonial organism composed of 4 specialized polyps that work together as a single entity. The most prominent feature of the Portuguese manowar is its large gas-filled float, also called as sail, which sits above the water's surface and allows it to drift with the wind. The float is usually blue, purple, or pink and can be up to 30 cm in length. Beneath the float, the colony consists of long trailing tentacles that can extend up to 10 meters in length. Like a true jellyfish, their tentacles are covered in nematocysts or stinging cells, which release venom when they come into contact with prey or threats. So these venomous stings, although they are rarely fatal, they still are capable of causing painful reactions in humans. So if you are stung by Portuguese manowar, you still need immediate care. Another example is Acropora species. So Acropora species are a group of reef-building corals that belongs to the family Acroporidae and are among the most important contributors to the structure of coral reefs worldwide. They are primarily found in tropical and subtropical marine environments, particularly in the Indo-Pacific region and parts of the Caribbean. Acropora corals are known for their rapid growth and branching structures, which often form dense, colorful, and intricate colonies. These corals are hermaphroditic, meaning they have a mutualistic relationship with photosynthetic algae called zooxanthellae, which live within their tissues. These algae provide the corals with energy through photosynthesis, giving them their vibrant color and supporting their growth. There are actually over 150 species of Acropora, and they exhibit a wide variety of forms, including branching, tabular, and encrusting shapes. Acropora corals are critical to reef ecosystems as they provide habitat for numerous marine organisms and contribute significantly to the reef's overall biodiversity. However, they are highly sensitive to environmental changes, including temperature fluctuations, ocean acidification, and pollution, making them vulnerable to coral bleaching and reef degradation. Acropora species play a key role in the construction of coral reefs, as their fast-growing colonies help build the complex three-dimensional structure that serves as the foundation for other marine life. These corals are important not only for their ecological contribution but also for their economic value in supporting fisheries and tourism industries. So the last classification that I will be going to discuss is the phylum Platyhelminths. Phylum Platyhelminths, which includes flatworms, is characterized by its flat, ribbon-like body shape. This flattened body is an adaptation that facilitates the diffusion of nutrients and gases directly across the surface, as flatworms lack specialized respiratory and circulatory systems. Another key feature of flatworms is that they are acoelomates, meaning they lack a body cavity between the digestive tract and the other body wall. Instead, their 3 primary tissue layers, ectoderm, mesoderm, and endoderm, are directly pressed against each other. Despite their simplicity, these tissues are organized into a basic body plan that includes a primitive digestive system, which has a single opening used both for ingestion and excretion. Flatworms also possess a simple nervous system, consisting of a cluster of nerve cells that function as a rudimentary brain. This simplicity does not hinder their adaptability, as many species are parasitic, living in or on other organisms and causing diseases in humans and animals. Phylum Platyhelminths contains both free-living and parasitic species. Free-living flatworms, like the planaria, are important members of aquatic food webs. Parasitic flatworms, such as tapeworms and blood flukes, can impact human and animal health. causing diseases like tapeworm infestations and schistosomiasis. Examples of flatworms include planaria. Planaria are free-living flatworms found in freshwater, marine, and moist terrestrial environments. They have a flat, elongated body with eye spots and move using ciliated cells. Planaria feed on decaying organic matter and are known for their remarkable ability to regenerate lost body parts, making them important in studies of regeneration. They play an ecological role in nutrient cycling and serve as prey for various animals. Another example is the Taenia. Taenia is a genus of parasitic flatworms commonly known as tapeworms that infect the intestine of vertebrates, including humans. They have long segmented bodies and attach to the intestinal walls using specialized hook and suckers. Taenia species such as Taenia solium or pork tapeworm and Taenia saginata or beef tapeworm are transmitted through the consumption of undercooked meat containing larvae. Infected individuals may experience symptoms like abdominal pain, weight loss, and digestive issues. Taenia tapeworms absorb nutrients directly from the host intestines. Proper cooking and hygiene can prevent infection. And the last example is the schistosoma. Schistosoma is a genus of parasitic flatworms known as blood flukes that cause the disease schistosomiasis. These flukes infect humans through contact with contaminated fresh water where larvae penetrate the skin. The adult worms live in the blood vessels, particularly in the liver, intestine, or bladder, and produces eggs that are released into the water through urine or feces. Schistosomiasis can cause symptoms like abdominal pain, diarrhea, blood in the urine, liver damage, and in severe cases, organ failure. The disease is prevalent in tropical and subtropical regions. Preventive measures include improved sanitation, clean water access, and treatment with antiparasitic drugs like praziquantel. So in conclusion, understanding the concept of phyla is crucial for categorizing life form and studying their evolutionary relationships. Phyla represent organisms with shared structural traits, making it easier to study the vast diversity of life on Earth. From the simple porous sponges to the more complex stinging cnidarians and parasitic flatworms, each phylum plays a unique role in ecosystem and provides insights into evolutionary processes. So that would be all for my part, and the other classification of invertebrates by phylum will be discussed by Nori Midsapak and Sulffy Abbas.
Good day, everyone. My name is Nori L and Midsapak. So today, I will continue to discuss the concept of phyla in biological classification. The first phyla that I will discuss is phylum Nematoda. What is phylum Nematoda? The organisms belonging to the phylum Nematoda are also known as roundworms. Pag sinabi natin roundworms, ito yung mga worms na which is maliliit lang and hindi natin siya nakikita or nakikita naman natin siya using the microscope. Ang mga itong organisms is may iba't ibang uri and you can find them in a lot of different places. Ang mga animals na ito are unsegmented and vermiform. Pag sinabi nating vermiform is ito yung hugis bulati, meaning their bodies are long and cylindrical without any visible segments. Next is we have the unique characteristics of nematodes. So the first characteristics of here is the tubular in appearance. It has an elongated and thin body or hair-like. So itong characteristics na ito is para siyang tubo, yung itsura lang niya, and with an elongated and thin body. They have also a distinct alimentary canal, pero yung head tsaka tail niya are not visually different. So, most of them are really small. And makikita mo lang talaga siya under the microscope. They reproduce sexually. They produce amoeboid sperm cells. And mayroon silang nervous system. And they are parasites of both plants and animals. They also have their cuticles that molt periodically. Next is the nematodes habitat. Ang mga nematodes is madalas makikita sa mga tirahan like sa dagat, freshwater, at sa land. The nematodes present in the soil fed on the bacteria, fungi, and other nematodes, and also nag-play ng important role in nutrient recycling. Nag-attack din siya ng mga insect and control the pest. But naging dahilan ito ng damage to the plants. They plant roots and reduce the nutrient uptake and stress tolerance of the plant. So we have here the example of the nematodes. So the first one here is the pinworms. Next is the whipworms. Third is the scarce lumbricoids. And the last one is the filarial worms. So the next is the phylum Annelida. What is phylum Annelida? Phylum Annelida is a very broad phylum belonging to the kingdom Animalia. The term Annelida is derived from two words. One is Latin. Annulus means a ring. Another Greek word which is ethos means the form. Annelids are typical animals that burrow or crawl upon the bottom in the ocean or in freshwater. Some are free swimming, at least during the breeding season, and others are adapted to life in moist soil. Many marine species build permanent tube which they inhabit, and other species the tube is temporary, like burrow, and may be abandoned for another. Next is we have the characteristics of annelids. Yung mga annelids kasi is columnate and trypoblastic organism, meaning they have their body cavity and 3 germ layers. Their bodies are segmented and they breathe through their skin. Nephridia are their excretory organs. They have well-developed circulatory and digestive systems. Ang mga annelids is nagakontain siya ng hemoglobin which gives them a red color, and setae help them move. Most of them are hermaphrodites, meaning they have both male and female organs. They reproduce both sexually and asexually. Saan nga ba natin makita yung mga annelids sa animal? So makita natin sila sa mga marine, terrestrial, and freshwater habitats. These animals are bilaterally symmetrical and vertebrate organisms. Their segmented body distinguishes them from any other organisms. So these are the example of the annelids. So the first one here is the leeches. So ang leeches, their scientific name is Hierodine. These are parasitic annelids that lives off of blood. Next is the polychaetes. This annelids is a marine annelids that is the most diverse annelid. The last one here is the earthworms, which known as oligochaetes, a common annelid that is found in worldwide. Next is we have the phylum Mollusca. A phylum Mollusca is the biggest marine phylum, comprising about 20% of all named marine organisms. So the word mollusca comes from the word mollis, meaning soft, reflecting their soft bodies. Next is we have the characteristics of mollusca. So yung mga mollusks kasi is nag-exhibit yung organ system level organizations nila. They have a body cavity and divide siya into a head, a visceral mass, muscular foot, and the mantle. So yung head is mayroong tentacles and compound eyes, and also their bodies are covered by a calcareous shell. And also yung muscular nila is nag-help siya para makamove. Yung mga molluscs is nag-develop ng digestive system, with the radula being the rasping organ for feeding, and they breathe through their skin, gills, or pulmonary. And also, yung blood is nag-circulate through an open circulatory system. They have a pair of metanephridia for excretion. And then, yung mga nervous systems nila in mollusks is nag-consist of a number of paired ganglia and the nerves. Yung mga tentacle and eyes, osphradium, and also the statocyst act as sensory organs. So, yung mga sexes is nag-separate siya most in mollusks. Pero yung some species nila are hermaphrodites. Then yung fertilizations nila can be external or internal. They have generally oviparous with indirect development. And then yung mga mollusks kasi is madalas natin nakikita sa mga freshwater, marine or environments, and also nakikita natin din sila sa mga land. And also mollusks play in a very important role in the lives of humans. They are a source of jewelry as well as food. Their natural pearls are formed within these mollusks. The bivalve mollusks are used as value indicators in the marine and freshwater environments, but few of them, such as snails and slugs, are the best. So these are the examples of mollusca. The first one here is the gastropoda, a large class of mollusks that include snails, slugs, and also their relatives. They can live in freshwater, brackish, marine, and terrestrial environments. Next is cephalopoda, a class of marine mollusks that includes octopuses, squids, and also the nautiluses. They have tentacles instead of feet and are highly evolved. Next here is the Monoplacopora or Neopilina. This is a class of mollusks with cap-like shells that live on the ocean floor. They were well known as fossil from the Cambrian to Devonian. The last one here is the Aplacopora or the Solenogastrus and the Caudofoveata, a small growth of marine, a worm-like appearance, and their mantle secretes tiny calcareous spicules over their bodies. So that will be on my part. Thank you for listening.
Hello, good afternoon. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So for this afternoon, we're going to explore and discuss the different classification of phylum. So for this report, we will be focusing on the three types of the phylum, which are the Arthropoda, Echinodermata, and the Ctenophora. So, in this report, a brief overview of each phylum, their characteristics, and magbibigay na rin ako ng iba pa mga examples ng animal species that are found in each phylum, and will be magpo-provide ako later ng mga example na yun to highlight their diversity and biological importance. Next, so for the introduction, the Arthropoda, Echinodermata, and Ctenophora are three distinct phyla of animals that belong to the Bilateria supergroup. So, in terms of characteristics, the Arthropoda is a phylum of animals known for having a segmented body, external exoskeleton, jointed appendages, and a body plan that is typically bilaterally symmetrical. So, for the Echinodermata phylum, it is characterized by having a unique water vascular system and a distinctive body plan with five-fold symmetry. So, yung kanina, yung Arthropoda is found in any parts of the world or any part of the earth, such as yung mga spiders or any types of insects na meron siyang matigas or external exoskeleton. So, ito mga Arthropoda makikita natin sa dagat, sa lupa, kahit sa kabundukan or sa forest. Meanwhile, yung Echinodermata naman is nakikita lang natin siya mostly sa dagat. So, next is yung Ctenophora. is a phylum of marine animals that have a jelly-like body, tentacular cirri, and 8 rows of cilia for locomotion. So first, ina-dive deep natin yung characteristics, example nung arthropod. So, itong mga arthropoda is a large phylum of animals that includes some of the most diverse and abundant species on Earth. So, basically, ito yung pinakamaraming type of species sa Earth na almost 1.2 million known species of arthropods, making up nearly 3/4 of all described animal species. So, itong mga arthropods is marami siyang number of distinct characteristics including a segmented body plan and yun nga yung matigas na exoskeleton and jointed appendages. Additionally, as mentioned earlier, na itong mga arthropods is nakikita na natin siya kahit sa ang habitat ng Earth. So, from the deepest parts of the ocean to the highest mountain peaks are adapted to a wide range of lifestyles. So, since ito nga yung pinakamarami, even sa bahay natin, nakikita natin itong mga parasites or mga insects na ito. So, sa nakikita natin sa screen, ito yung pinaka-common examples ng arthropods such as the insects, yung spiders, crustaceans, and millipedes or butterfly, and etc. So, million yung known species niya. So, in terms of importance, arthropods play a crucial role in our ecosystem kasi paminsan it serves as a predator and at the same time, may mga ibang arthropods na sila naman yung nagiging prey. So, as well as they are becoming, decomposers and recyclers. So, it is estimated that arthropods make up about 80% of all animal biomass on Earth. So just imagine, kahit yung mga ants, mga langgam, grasshopper, or butterfly, or gagamba, or apis, nakikita natin yan sa bahay natin. So imagine how large their species are in the whole of the entirety of the world. So next, we have the Echinodermata, which is a phylum of marine animals that include sea stars, sea urchins, and brittle stars. So itong klaseng ang characteristic nitong phylum is meron siyang presence ng unique water vascular system, which is a network of fluid-filled canals that connects to the exterior of the animal through specialized structures called tube feet. So, yung mga example nito is yung mga sea star or mga brittle stars or sea urchins na nakikita natin sa dagat. Finally, we have the Ctenophora. So it has a silent C siya. Bale, it is a type of phylum of marine animals that includes comb jellies. So nakikita natin sa screen na more of gelatinous body and marami siyang specialized cells called coloblasts which are used to capture prey. So nakikita natin yung ginagamit nila na pang-prey or pangkain dun sa iba pang mga kinakain nila sa dagat is yung kanilang coloblasts. So these are typically small, transparent animal katulad nitong nakikita natin or nakikita natin sa mga movies or pictures, yung mga jellies na mga creatures na pinakailalim ng dagat na naninirahan sila na it can be found in a variety of habitats. So, pwede sila sa open ocean and sa pinakailalim ng ocean. So, that would be all. Thank you. Shukran. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Good day, I am Kundi Jannis. I and Orquiola Kaycee will be discussing about the life process of invertebrates. So invertebrates are animals that lack of a vertebral column or a backbone, representing the vast majority of animal species on Earth. But despite their seemingly simple body structures compared to vertebrates, um, invertebrates have developed diverse and efficient ways to carry out vital life processes such as respiration, circulation, reproduction, movement, and so on. So, these adaptations enable them to thrive in a wide range of environments, sa mga deep oceans to arid deserts. So, let's talk about the respiration in invertebrates. Respiration is the process by which organisms exchange gases, mainly oxygen and carbon dioxide, with their environment to support cellular metabolism. Invertebrates have evolved different respiratory structures and mechanisms depending on their habitat. So, respiration is the biological process of gas exchange, essential for providing oxygen to cells and removing carbon dioxide. Also, invertebrates have evolved specialized respiratory structures suited to their habitats, whether aquatic or terrestrial. So let's talk about the aquatic invertebrates. Aquatic invertebrates such as crustaceans and some mollusks often use gills for respiration. So, ang aquatic invertebrates such as crustaceans, mollusks, and also annelids often nagre-rely on gills for respiration. Ang gills are thin-walled na highly vascularized structures that extract dissolved oxygen from water and expel carbon dioxide. For example, yung crustaceans like crabs and lobsters. It possesses gills located within protective chambers. Similarly, mollusks like clams and scallops utilize gills not only for respiration but also for filtering food particles from water. Another one is the terrestrial invertebrates. Terrestrial invertebrates such as insects typically use a tracheal system for respiration. Terrestrial invertebrates such as insects rely on a tracheal system for respiration. Ang tracheal system consists of a network of tubes, or the trachea, that open to the outside through small pores called spiracles. Oxygen enters the spiracles and diffuses through the trachea directly to the body tissues, bypassing the circulatory system. So, this direct delivery system ensures efficient oxygenation in fast-moving insects like bees and flies. So let's move on to the circulation in invertebrates. Circulation is responsible for transporting nutrients, gases, and waste products throughout the body. Invertebrates may have open or closed circulatory systems depending on their complexity. First, let's talk about the open circulatory system. Most invertebrates, including insects and mollusks, possess an open circulatory system. So, most invertebrates, such as insects and many mollusks, have an open circulatory system. So, in this system, hemolymph, or a mixture of blood and interstitial fluid, is pumped by a heart into open spaces called hemocell, surrounding the internal organs. So, since hemolymph directly bathes the tissues, nutrient and gas exchange occur without the need for capillaries. So, while this system is less efficient than a closed system, it suits the metabolic needs of less active or smaller organisms. Another one is the closed circulatory system. Some more advanced invertebrates, such as earthworms and certain cephalopods like squid and octopuses, have a closed circulatory system. More advanced invertebrates such as earthworms or annelids and cephalopods, example the squids and octopuses, possess a closed circulatory system. Why? Because in this system, blood is confined within vessels, allowing for faster and more efficient transport of oxygen and nutrients to tissues. So, the closed system supports the higher metabolic demands of active animals like squids, which is nagre-rely on efficient circulation for rapid swimming and hunting. So, the life processes of invertebrates demonstrate the incredible diversity and adaptability of these animals.
Good day everyone. So I am Kaycee's Orquiola and I am the one who will continue the report of Miss Kundi. Life process of invertebrates. Reproduction in invertebrates. Invertebrates exhibit a wide range of reproductive strategies, both sexual and asexual, that allow them to adapt to different environments. So, ang mga invertebrates ay may iba't ibang paraan ng pagpaparami na tumutulong sa kanila upang maka-adapt sa iba't ibang uri ng kapaligiran. Reproduction in invertebrates. First is the sexual reproduction. Most invertebrates reproduce sexually, involving the fusion of male and female gametes to produce offspring with genetic diversity. So, sexual reproduction ang isa sa mga paraan kung saan kinakailangan ang dalawang magkaibigang kasarian ng isang lalaki at isang babae para makapagparami. So, sa process na ito, magkakaroon ng kombinasyon ng genetic material mula sa parehong magulang na nagre-resulta sa mas mataas na genetic diversity. Mahalaga ang genetic diversity dahil tumutulong ito sa mga invertebrates na maka-adapt sa iba't ibang environmental challenges at maipasa ang mga traits na makakatulong sa kanilang survival. External fertilization is a common in aquatic invertebrates like sponges and jellyfish, where eggs and sperm are released into the water and fertilization occurs externally. So sa prosesong ito, parehong inilabas ng male at female ang kanilang sperm at eggs sa tubig. Dito nangyayari ang fertilization o ang pagsasama ng gametes sa labas ng katawan ng magulang. Ang ganitong uri ng reproduction ay madalas ginagawa sa tubig dahil nagbibigay ito ng tamang medium para makagalaw ang sperm patungo sa egg. Next is internal fertilization. It's found in many terrestrial invertebrates such as insects and some mollusks. Here, fertilization occurs within the female body, providing added protection to developing embryos. So, in this process is ipinapasok ng male ang sperm sa katawan ng female kung saan nagaganap ang fertilization ng egg cell. Ang ganitong uri ng reproduction ay nagbibigay ng mas mataas na proteksyon sa developing embryos laban sa panganib tulad ng predators. Next is asexual reproduction. Some invertebrates can reproduce without the need for gametes, creating genetically identical offspring. Ang sexual reproduction ay isang paraan ng pagpaparami kung saan hindi na kailangan ng gametes o pagsasama ng sperm at egg. Next is budding. Observed in sponges and hydras, where a new organism grows as an outgrowth on the parent and eventually detaches. So, budding is a form of asexual reproduction observed in organisms like sponges and hydras. In this process, a new organism begins to grow as an outgrowth or bud on the parent's body. As the bud develops, it gradually becomes independent and eventually detaches from the parent, forming a separate, fully functional organism. Fragmentation, seen in starfish and certain worms, where parts of the body break off and grow into complete individuals. So, in this process, part of the organism body break off and have the ability to grow into complete independent individuals. For instance, is kapag ang starfish ay nawala ng isa sa mga braso nito, maaaring tumubo ang braso na iyon bilang bagong starfish. Basta't may kasamang bahagi ng central disc, ang fragmentation ay isang mabisang paraan ng pagpaparami. Next is the parthenogenesis, a process where females produce offspring without fertilization, common in some insects like aphids, allowing rapid population growth. So, in this process, offspring are produced rapidly, which allow for quick population growth. As no mate is needed for reproduction, parthenogenesis gives an advantage to species that needs to be reproduced quickly, especially in situations where male individuals are limited or when environmental conditions are favorable for population growth. Movement in invertebrates. Movement is essential for invertebrates to find food, escape predators, and reproduce. Invertebrates have evolved different structures and methods to move effectively. So, for instance, yung mga mollusks tulad ng snails ay gumagamit ng kanilang muscular foot para gumapang, habang ang mga insects naman ay ang mga legs na ginagamit nila para maglakad o tumakbo. While sa jellyfish naman ay ginagamit ang kanilang bell sa pamamagitan ng pag-push ng tubig palabas, allowing them to travel quickly in the sea. Movement in invertebrates. A. The muscular movement. Most invertebrates rely on muscle contractions to move. So, muscular movement is the primary way to most invertebrates move. They rely on muscle contraction to create movement in their bodies. First is the arthropods. Insects, arachnids, and crustaceans have jointed appendages attached to a hard exoskeleton muscle pull on these appendages, allowing walking, jumping, and flying. So, ang mga kalamnan ng arthropods ay kumikilos upang hilain ang mga appendages nito, kaya't nakakagalaw sila. Halimbawa, ang mga insekto ay mga may legs na para makalakad, at ang mga ilang uri na may wings ay ginagamit nila ito para lumipad. Ang kanilang exoskeleton ay nagsisilbing protection, at ang mga jointed appendages ay nagbibigay ng kakayahan para gumalaw ng mabilis at epektibo. Next is mollusks. Some mollusks such as octopus use a muscular foot or arms. Octopus use their arms in a jet propulsion system to move quickly through the water. So, sa jet propulsion, ang octopus ay nagsisipsip ng tubig sa loob ng kanyang katawan, at pagkatapos ay tinutulak ito palabas gamit ang isang parte ng katawan na tinatawag na siphon. Next is hydrostatic skeletons. Invertebrates like earthworms and jellyfish use a hydrostatic as skeleton, where fluid within body cavities creates pressure for movement. So, for example, in earthworms, the fluid pressure in their body segments allows them to extend and contract their muscles, helping them move through soil. In jellyfish, the pressure from the water inside their body helps them maintain their shape and move by contracting and expanding their bell to push water and propel themselves forward. Next is the earthworms. Move by contracting and relaxing circular and longitudinal muscles which push their body forward in segments. So in this coordinated movement allows the earthworms to push its body forward in segments. As the circular muscles contract, one segment of the body stretches out, and when the longitudinal muscles contract, the part of the body shortens and thickens. So this back and forth movement helps the earthworm travel through the soil efficiently. Next is the cnidarians, example like jellyfish, propel themselves by contracting their bell-shaped bodies, pushing water out to move through the water column. When they contract, they push water out from the inside of their bodies, specifically from a part called the bell. This action creates a force that pushes the jellyfish in the opposite direction, allowing them to move through the water. And lastly, the ciliary movement. Some microscopic invertebrates like ciliates and rotifers use tiny hair-like structure called cilia. So, ang mga cilia ay kumikilos ng sabay-sabay, like para silang mga maliliit na walis, at ito ang ginagamit ng mga hayop para gumalaw. Ciliary movement is a quick and efficient way for this small organism to move in their environment. Cilia beat in coordinated waves, allowing this organism to move through water or along surface efficiently. So, dahil dito, nakakagalaw ang mga organism na mayroong cilia, like yung ciliates or rotifers, ng maayos at mabilis kung saan pwedeng mag-swim sa tubig o maglakad sa mga surfaces. Life process of invertebrates. Invertebrates exhibit a remarkable diversity in respiration, circulation, reproduction, and movement, adapting these processes to suit their environments. Aquatic and terrestrial habitats have influenced their respiratory and circulatory adaptation, while varied reproductive and movement strategies help ensure their survival and widespread distribution. These adaptations highlight the complexity and resilience of invertebrates across ecosystems. And that's the end of my report, and now let's proceed to the next reporter.
Hello everyone. Thank you for being here today. I'm excited to discuss a topic that is both fascinating and critically important to the health of our planet: the ecological importance of invertebrates. Invertebrates, which are animals without a backbone, are an incredible diverse group that includes insects, worms, and more. Although they might not always get the recognition they deserve, they are essential to maintaining the balance of ecosystems on Earth. From pollination and nutrient recycling to serving as food sources and ecosystem engineers. Invertebrates truly are the unsung heroes of the natural world. Today, I'll take you through their incredible contributions to our planet. Let's begin with one of the most critical roles invertebrates play, that is, pollination. Invertebrates, such as bees, butterflies, and moths, are responsible for pollinating over 75% of the world's flowering plants. This process is essential for the reproduction of plants, which in turn provide food, oxygen, and habitats for countless other species. Without these pollinators, not only would plant biodiversity decline, but our agricultural systems would face catastrophic impacts. Crops like fruits, vegetables, and nuts rely heavily on invertebrate pollination. Imagine a world without apples, almonds, or coffee. That's the reality we face without these tiny but mighty creatures. It's important to note that the decline in pollinator populations due to habitat loss, pesticides, and climate change is a serious threat to ecosystem and human food security. Protecting pollinators is a step toward safeguarding the future of our planet. Next, let's talk about how invertebrates contribute to nutrient recycling. Invertebrates such as earthworms, dung beetles, and detrivores play a crucial role in breaking down organic matter. These organisms decompose dead plants and animals, recycling nutrients back into the soil. This process enriches the soil, making it fertile for plants to grow. For example, earthworms aerate the soil as they tunnel through it, which improves water infiltration and nutrient mixing. Dung beetles not only clean up waste but also bury it, fertilizing the soil in the process. Without these recyclers, organic waste would accumulate and ecosystem would suffer from lack of nutrients. Farming and forestry, in particular, depend heavily on the soil fertility maintained by these invertebrates. So, the next time you see an earthworm, remember, it's working tirelessly to keep our ecosystem thriving. Invertebrates are also at the base of the food web, making them essential for the survival of countless species. They serve as a vital food source for birds, mammals, reptiles, and amphibians. For instance, frogs and fish depend on insects for their survival, while many bird species rely on caterpillars and beetles to feed their young. I mean their child. If invertebrate population were to decline, the, the effect would ripple through the food web. Predators that rely on them would face starvation, which could lead to population collapses and disrupt entire ecosystems. This interconnectedness highlights how even the smallest creatures are vital to the survival of the largest. Invertebrates are more than just a food sources. They are habitat architects. Take coral polyps, for example. These tiny marine invertebrates build coral reefs, which provide shelter for thousands of marine species. Coral reefs are the biodiversity hotspots, often called the rainforest of the sea. Similarly, termites create intricate mounds and tunnels that serve as homes for various organisms and beavers, though not invertebrates themselves, rely on the wood-eating activities of certain insects to help modify their habitats. These, these architectural contributions create environment where other species can thrive. Without them, entire ecosystems would lose their structure and resilience. Protecting these invertebrates and their habitat is critical for maintaining the biodiversity. In addition to their other roles, invertebrates act as indicators of ecosystem health because invertebrates are highly sensitive to environmental changes. Scientists often study their population to detect early signs of ecological problems. For example, a decline in aquatic invertebrates like dragonfly nymphs can indicate water pollution. Similarly, shift in bee population might signal changes in land use or pesticide levels. Monitoring invertebrates helps us understand the impacts of human activities on the environment by acting as sentinels. They provide valuable data that can guide conservation efforts and policy changes. To sum up, invertebrates are not just a creatures we occasionally see. They are the lifelines of our planet. They, number one, pollinate plants, ensuring food security and biodiversity, and recycle nutrients, keeping ecosystem productive and sustainable, and serve as a foundational food source, supporting countless species, and build and maintain habitats that sustain biodiversity, and for the last one, act as sentinels, warning us of ecological damage. Despite their incredible importance, invertebrates face numerous threats, from habitat destructions to climate change. It's our responsibility to raise them. And that's all. Thank you for your attention. Let's all work to ensure these unsung heroes continue to thrive.
My name is Manaros Imran, and let's talk about the economic significance of invertebrates. So when we say economic significance, we are talking sa practical importance and the economic impact ng invertebrates. The first one is the food source. So many invertebrates like insects, like grasshoppers, or crustaceans like crabs, shrimps, and mollusks, oyster at squid ay mahalagang food source sa mga tao at sa ibang hayop. The second one is the agriculture. So ano nga ba ang impact or paano nakakatulong ang invertebrates sa agriculture? So, invertebrates katulad ng earthworms na nagbubungkal ng lupa at nagpapataba ng lupa. At ang mga pollinators natin gaya ng mga butterfly at bubuyog ay nakakatulong sa magandang ani at magandang pagbunga ng mga tanim. So, the third one is the ecosystem services. So, ano nga ba ang services na ginagawa ng mga invertebrates sa ating ecosystem? Una na dyan ang decomposition na ginagawa ng mga earthworms at beetles. Nutrient cycling naman na ginagawa ng insects at worms, at ang pest control na ginagawa ng mga ladybugs at parasite wasps. So, these services have a significant economic value. The fourth one is the biotechnology. Ang mga invertebrates na ginagamit sa research at biotechnology, for example, is ang drug development like sea anemones, if I'm saying correctly, and environmental monitoring like earthworms. So, ginagamit rin ang invertebrates sa biotechnology, and it has a significant impact or value sa ating ekonomiya. The fourth one is the tourism, or the fifth one is the tourism. Tourism and recreation. Ang ibang invertebrates like coral reefs that supports diverse marine life and butterfly that attract tourists are important for tourism and recreational. So, ang mga invertebrates ay magaganda rin and it attract tourists like butterflies and coral reefs. And marami pang iba ang kahalagahan ang mga invertebrates. Gaya na lang ng raw materials, dagdag ko lang. Ang raw materials like pearl at bee wax na nanggaling sa mga bubuyog. In conclusion, invertebrates are vital for a healthy and functioning ecosystem, contributing sa economic prosperity and various ways. So, mahalaga at importante ang invertebrates sa ating ekonomiya.